Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r slash Am I the Butthole, where OP kicked out all the women from his own wedding. Am I the butthole for making all the women in my family leave after they all showed up to my wedding wearing white? I, 33 male, have a large family, mostly aunts and female cousins aside from mom, stepmom, stepsister, and grandmother. I don't know how to say this, but all those women I mentioned above are into teasing and joking. They formed a unit and they tease and roast every new woman that enters by marriage by setting up tests to see if they deserve to be part of the family, or they would roast their looks and styles to the point of breaking confidence and self-esteem. Then, after a few months of teasing, they'd announce that they finally welcomed into the family. The newest member would join in on the teasing too, which is crazy as my dad says. When I first introduced my then girlfriend, now wife, I made it clear that I didn't want any of the women in the unit to come at her or harass her, not even a single word. They went behind my back and roasted her looks and job, and I discovered they'd been doing it on Facebook. I had them apologize one by one after they gave the "we're just testing the water to see if she's capable to be part of this family" excuse. They didn't want to apologize. But once I said I wouldn't invite any of them unless they apologize, including my mom, everyone immediately apologized and brought gifts from my wife. First of them was my stepmom and my sister-in-law. My wedding was 2 weeks ago. There was talk about the women in the family wanting to pull a prank on my wife by wearing white and called it the ultimate test to see how my wife would react. My brother warned me, so I announced that if any one of them showed in white, I'd have them kicked out, including my mom. They said this wasn't true and they would never do such a thing, but they showed up to my wedding, one by one, wearing white dresses. And each and every one of them was told to leave after they tried giving excuses by either making scenes or getting the men involved. The senior women of the unit, who are my mom and aunts, also showed up in white, but refused to leave. I threatened to take harsher action and my mom was pissed, telling me to step aside, but I didn't let her in. I had her leave while the men in the family were watching stunned. Dad was on my side and supported me a lot. I felt absolutely awful because my wedding was being interrupted by them making scenes. My wife was hurt beyond measure, but the women in the family are pissed. My cousin blasted me on social media later, saying I excluded all the women from the wedding because my wife was so insecure she couldn't handle another woman's presence at their wedding. I had an argument with them, and mom berated me, saying it was supposed to be a prank, but I said they were taking it too far. Mom said that I'm the one who took it too far by kicking them out because they were trying to get a reaction from my wife to see if she was one of those bridezillas and were going to change as soon as the prank was over. But I ruined my own wedding by reacting so aggressively. I stopped talking after she said I had to bring my wife and apologize. I haven't seen the lot of them in 2 weeks, and they've excluded me from everything. Was I the butthole for how I handled this? I just wanted to explain that A, this has been happening for years. The men in the family are split on this behavior. Some of them encouraged it, like my uncle and cousin's husband. One of them is now an ex. And some are against it, like me and my dad and my brother. B, the women claim that there is nothing hurtful in what they do because they claim that they're just looking out for us men, and that their goal ultimately is to make sure that the women who enter the family are decent. C, my dad always ends up arguing with my mom and grandmother, since they're the one who started this whole thing with their behavior and attitude towards other women. And I'm not sure if I should mention this, but my male cousin, who's a middle schooler, said he'd make sure to leave the country before even meeting any women because of this, and it made me chuckle. Also, the dresses they showed up in were simple white dresses, nothing over the top, but still were white dresses. I realized they went ahead with their plans even after I stated what I do in that case. OP. The women in your family is just straight up toxic and abusive. These bored, insecure, middle-aged women harasses another to the point of tears and they are just calling it a prank? After the stunt they pulled, they have the gall to demand that you and your wife apologize to them for getting kicked out. They're even blaming you for the aftermath of their awful behavior. Your cousin has an excellent point, OP. Stay away from these people. Look at it this way. If you decide to have kids, do you want them to learn this behavior? For your kids to normalize getting bullied or bullying others? Don't feel awful for kicking them out, OP. You stood up to protect your wife. That will definitely make your marriage stronger. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to Patson to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.